Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome to the Rise of Canada soccer team. Now I must admit I never thought I'd be saying a sentence like that because it's all about the ice hockey, or if you're in Canada the hockey, or even baseball, but not exactly soccer or even football for that matter, and so I'm just interested and curious to learn.
This could be it. For the first time in 35 years, and only the second time in their history, Canada could qualify for the World Cup.
Wow.
But how have they found themselves undefeated after 8 games and top of the CONCACAF standings?
Damn.
The second goal by Kyle Larin against Mexico was a turning point for Canada soccer. They're no longer hoping to be mentioned alongside the US and Mexico, but looking to dominate CONCACAF. The signs were clearly visible in the 2019 Gold Cup, but their defensive solidity has emerged as one of their strengths, and the mentality shift in the squad is clearly evident.
Well then, there was just a million things to unpack immediately. I need to take it back to this because they said something about the Gold Cup, but to be honest, it's kind of completely irrelevant. If you've won every game, no, you haven't won every game. It's 1-4 draw for. Okay, so you just haven't lost. Okay, that makes it a little bit of a difference. So you're not completely dominating every single side. You are still drawing. I mean, of course, there's probably a few where Canada should have been way out in front, but still ended up with a draw. But I guess the USA also has one loss, 3 draws, and so they're pretty darn close. And then this entire thing about kind of being lumped in with those countries is something I've never even known about. It makes sense in some regard, but to be honest, I can't say that I think of any of these 3 countries when I kind of think of world stage football.
In previous years, the national team was mixed with players at professional setups and other players looking for clubs to sign with, lacking match fitness and looking to enjoy an all-inclusive holiday. Now the team is littered.
All-inclusive holiday. Wow, that is certainly one way to take a dig at the, well, I don't know if it's the whole team, but half the team. You would bring in some guys that had serious professional caliber from Europe. Okay, that makes sense. And then you would mix it with some guys that were looking for a club. They probably weren't match fit. They probably weren't the sharpest. And all of that has just come from this one guy. And so, yeah, I can understand how if the entire team just isn't really playing as a team, you're not going to be doing too well.
Now the team is littered with players playing in top European leagues, with regular starters and teams playing at higher levels than ever before. This switch in the team's mindset and their current belief in their ability was in place by the men before him, but John Herdman has been able to turn this potential into a team that is delivering consistently.
Nice work.
The Gold Cup in 2019 saw Canada flourish in their fast counter-attacking style of play.
Damn, but let me just take that back, and really, he's once again mentioned the Gold Cup, and I can't exactly say that I know what that is. I can only assume it's some kind of North American competition. I don't know if it's something to do with the qualifications for the World Cup or anything, or maybe it's just kind of a local game, if you'd call it that.
2019 saw Canada flourish in their fast counter-attacking style of play. Attack-minded, the team looked to take a step up from
sweaty goals,
scoring 12 goals in 3 games as they finished second, and the team looked to take a step up from
look at
Herdman.
that. Hang on a second, so they've gone from playing in the white and red? I'm a little bit confused. I wonder who's in the red here, because you've got red and white and then all of a sudden it's swapped around, but I can only imagine that they're going to be showing Canada's goals either way. I was like, hang on, what?
Attack-minded, the team looked to take a step up from Herdman, scoring 12 goals in 3 games as they finished second in the group standings. But their loss to Mexico in the group stage and subsequent loss to Haiti in the quarterfinals brought to light their defensive instability. This was a young team finding their way, but the foundations were clearly visible. Later that year, Canada beat the USA for the first time in 34 years, bringing an end to the constant, consistent, and relentless domination by the Stars and Stripes that dated back to April 1985.
Oh man, that would have been such a historic moment. 35 years later, from 1985 to 2019, 34 years. I wonder if there was any draws in there. I certainly hope so, because if you have lost every single game you played against the USA for 35 years, I mean, it says 34, but let's just call it 35 years, then you're certainly just going to have, I don't know, a hell of a chip on your shoulder, but also just no confidence as a team, let alone the fact that everyone's just going to be going, why are you even here? You've never won. In terms of an entire generation has never seen you win. There's no point you being here, and blah blah. The list goes on, and so the entire thing would certainly just spiral downwards. And so, like I said, that would have been a historic moment, and you can certainly see it on their faces. I mean, with these 2 matches, June, were they before, after? Okay, no, October. So they were before, and so they, okay, so they, even though they lost this and they were, I can only imagine, not feeling too confident, they kind of had this massive wave where they came second but then lost and then lost again, where they, I imagine, probably shouldn't have, but then to come out swinging only a couple months later and beat the USA, man, like I said, unbelievable feeling.
1985. None of the players that started in that historic game versus the US were even conceived when it took place.
Whoa.
This team that started in that historic game versus the US were even
Oldest starting player, oh, I wonder about on the bench, but either way, January 11th, how old would he have been? Or no, he was minus 2 years old. Okay, then.
None of the players that started in that historic game versus the US were even conceived when it took place.
That's crazy.
This team and fans have grown up in the shadow of the US. Beating them in 2019 showed the progress of the squad, providing belief to the team and fans ahead of the 2022 World Cup qualifying campaign. Gone are the years of devastating losses, qualifying disappointment, and a no-loss attitude towards games. Herdman's New Canada have qualifying disappointment and a no-loss attitude towards games.
And a no-loss attitude towards games. I mean, I feel as though the entire sentence there, I don't know if I'm missing something, but I just heard him say the crushing defeats. I'm looking at all of this, Mexico defeats Canada, and then all of a sudden he says a no-loss attitude towards games. How does that entire thing line up? You're kind of only losing, it seems.
This physical, defensive core have not been hailed as the greatest modern ball-playing defense in recent memory, but they have been able to hold the opposition team in difficult moments and keep the joint best defensive record in all of qualifying, only conceding 5 goals in their first 8 games. Credit to Herdman in this aspect, as they have dramatically turned their defensive fortunes in short camps during international breaks. The emphatic offensive displays, however, are what are catching the eyes and giving Canada the buzz around this football team.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, like you just says, the buzz around the football team from going, like I said, from a sport that, I mean, I guess would only be overshadowed both from the USA, but also just from other sports. Like I said, I'm going to call it hockey for all the Canadians, but ice hockey for everyone else. And then, like I said, you got baseball. You've even got, what is it called? The CFL? Yeah, the Canadian Football League. And then I can only imagine it's probably below swimming in terms of the Olympics. And I don't even know. I'm sure there are a whole bundle of sports that soccer and football would just be way, way, way below everything else. And to a certain point, I can understand why. If you haven't been the USA and kind of haven't won a game in 35 years to some extent, no major game I can only imagine, then really there isn't mounds for people to actually be able to kind of cheer you on for, you know? I mean, I wonder how the entire thing works in terms of Quebec being so more French aligned in terms of just, well, obviously football and all of those kind of things is much, much, much bigger in Europe. And so I wonder if there's a lot of that kind of influence, and that's why soccer is actually probably bigger than I expected to be. I mean, I guess either way, regardless of how important it is in terms of how well known it is, this guy right here seems to be the main kind of man in terms of just turning the entire side around. I mean, I don't know if it was a shift in management entirely or if it was just kind of a shift in how he went about it, because he said gone are the days of the no-loss mentality, and I don't know if it was because of a different coach. I'm trying to understand. Maybe that's what I missed. I was thinking he was the same guy, but maybe it's just a different manager, different coach. That would certainly make sense if you're all of a sudden able to turn the team around to this extent. But either way, just props to this guy, because they've gone from kind of bottom of the table to a highly defensive and highly offensive, if that even makes sense, team.
The emphatic offensive displays, however, are what are catching the eyes and giving Canada the buzz around this football team. They have scored 13 goals so far in qualifying, more than every other nation. Sitting atop of the qualification table is a great achievement, and considering that Canada were previously not ranked in the top 6 teams in CONCACAF, and were one of 3 teams that had to qualify for this round of qualification, makes it all the merrier. When Herdman took over in January of 2018, they were ranked 78th in the FIFA standings.
Hang on a second, I just want to pause it here and just take it in. So that certainly at least confirms the fact that it must have been a new coach, but Canada's women's team lose coach to men's team less than 18 months out from 2019 Women's World Cup? I mean, I feel as though that entire sentence is kind of centered around the fact that it was 18 days out, not 18 months out, but it certainly would have been a blow considering what he's done for the men's team. And then looking to the right, Canada were ranked 78th, which I think was also said here. Where is it? They were ranking here, FIFA ranking July 2020. Now I can only assume that's kind of internationally ranked things, 11th, 22, 46, down to 69, 70, 78. And so that just gives you a really good scale about how much they have improved, because to be 70 in this entire ranking and then all of a sudden to be moving up and beating, I don't know, I guess, have they beat Mexico yet? Yeah, I guess they would have, because they're undefeated. And so yeah, to go from 70th to beating number 11, number 22 and everything else in between, it definitely just massively improvement. Like the scale, and I don't even know what you call it, but man, these guys have just turned their life around with this.
When Herdman took over in January of 2018, they were ranked 78th in the FIFA standings. Now they sit in 40th, matching their highest ever ranking.
There we go.
A power shift is happening in Canada. The latest TV ratings from that white evening in Edmonton showed how the people of Canada are beginning to believe in this team and take a keen interest in the sport. A training ground visit.
Hang on a second. This is exactly what I wanted to see, because like I said, I had no idea if it was big, little, what. But Canada versus Mexico 1.15, and then hockey, all of them just well under. Honestly, more closer to 500,000, if not 167,000. And then there's CFL maybe, or maybe it was the NFL? No. surely it'd be the CFL. Also 167,000. So yeah, that's just blown everything else out of the water. Almost, well, compared to the lower ones, by 1 million people.
Training ground visit from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also shifted a change from previous photo op visits to a real thanks for inspiring the entire country. And the swift ushering of the Prime Minister away from the pitch so Herdman could continue the session was a testament to where the team ran.
Right. I was like, hang on a second, what? You're just going to be ushering the Prime Minister away? Surely you don't want to be doing that in terms of it. Surely he was there to promote the entire thing. But I guess if you're that focused, you're like, nope, we've got our schedule, we've got our time, we've got a lot of time on the field, and we've only got so much of it until we have to just go out there and verse Mexico again. And so get off here. I don't care how important you are.
Topping the ratings and a more genuine visit from the Prime Minister was one thing, but the team is starting to get real attention from big global names. With Drake getting in touch with the team to meet after their 4-1 win over Panama, there was a real childlike response in the dressing room. As news filtered from Herdman to Davies about Drake wanting to meet with the national team squad, it was evident that the team were not used to gaining attention from huge personalities, showing the infancy of their success and the projection it is taking them on. Their real trajectory revealed itself after Kyle Larin had passed Ochoa in Edmonton, making him the joint top scorer in Canadian national team history.
Whoa, and he's so young, I think, still. And really, to see something like that where it's Canada's all-time top goal scorers and the top one is 22 goals, I mean, I feel as though Messi and Ronaldo have like 700, 800, 900 last time I heard. Maybe they're over 1,000 now, I don't even know. So to be landing back down to earth with only 22 goals, or I guess it's 22 goals, but it certainly just puts it into perspective. And then also coming back to when they were just meeting Drake, I mean, it kind of just sums up the entire mentality of the team. I mean, yes, they kind of just ushered the entire Prime Minister off, but also were super keen to meet Drake. But then at the same time, when you're all of a sudden just reaping the rewards of all your hard work, you know, you're going out on the field, it just makes it feel so much more special in that regard. You know, you go, oh, wow, we're winning games, where I'm scoring goals, and then I'm kind of feeling as though I'm, I don't know, living the life of a celebrity in the same way. So it all just kind of rolls into one.
Beating out a team of Mexico's caliber showcased the talent, grit, and positive mental space the team find themselves in at the moment. Confident attacking displays and showing their defensive development in added time.
Wait, so are they in black there? I didn't even realize, because I swear before that Mexico were in black. Oh, hang on a second, now I'm completely confused. How many jerseys and different suits and everything do they have here? I mean, I must say that the snow in the background is just so weird to me. I cannot believe that. I don't even know, how do you keep the field dry? I don't know, is it warm AstroTurf or something? I have no idea. It kind of looks very, very green and I don't know. But either way, just the snow in the background, I don't even understand. I mean, it certainly explains the long sleeves, but either way, the fact that just snow and like a meter of it, it's just completely an alien world to me.
In at the moment. Confident attacking displays and showing their defensive development in added time to keep Mexico out as they piled on the pressure. This squad is no longer happy to sit back and hold for a draw. The defeat of the Mexicans at the hand of the Canadians was so drastic that Mexico had to rebrand and change their badge. Leaps and bounds over where the team was drastic that Mexico had to...
But at least he actually just sneaks him a little bit of an I'm joking right there. But man, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're just kind of blaming it on something else, but really they went, man, the Canadians just came and just completely outran us.
Leaps and bounds over where the team was just under 5 years ago. The win against Mexico was a statement win which could be seen as the before and after moment for Canada, but only if they go on to qualify for Qatar. Key decisions have been made by Herdman. His choices on the starting 11 have all been hits. His decision to rotate in players that are in form has demonstrated the squad's strength and depth. Decisions to start Larin versus Mexico ahead of high-flying Jonathan David paid off immediately. John Herdman is the catalyst of this team, and due to the club level his players are now playing at, he has been able to implement tactical shifts in formation in and between games. This flexible and fluid squad have shifted from a 4-3-3 to a 3-5-2 and then even a 4-2-4 quickly in attack.
Quickly in attack? Holy moly, I didn't expect them to be switching like that. I always thought it would be, between games or, I don't know, at halftime or something. But to be doing it mid-game or even mid-attack is what he said, and I'm a little bit dubious how that would work, because if you look at it, you literally go from, 2 up front to 3 up front to 4 up front, and then 4 at the back to 4 at the back, and then 3 at the back. Like, everyone's just rotating all around. You basically have, 5 roving centres and midfielders, so then they either just push up or just come back.
Players are now able to understand multiple setups, and they have rewarded their coaches with brilliant displays of football alongside top-notch results.
Hell yeah.
His blend of youth, Experienced players and star power have proved excellent so far, but he is not yet satisfied and believes the team can still improve. If Jonathan David is able to find his club form for Canada, the team will benefit significantly.
Oh, that almost looked like it was going to miss for a second there. Yeah, look at this. And then just going frame by frame, I thought that trajectory, I mean, I can understand they're probably not going to show a missing goal, but it just looks like it's gonna, I don't know, go wide? I guess it's just the perspective of the camera, but look at that. It almost looks like it's not in the goal there, but then it ends up hitting the net.
Benefit significantly. David has been accused of not turning up for Canada and only scoring in blowout wins. Herdman is hoping that he can keep it simple for the national team and come good for them in the upcoming fixtures in the new year. Atiba Hutchinson made his debut for Canada in 2003 and has been as prominent as any national team player around the world since.
There we go, 2003, and you're still sticking around. What? Hang on a second, almost 20 years later? Literally going from what? I mean, I guess middle of the entire time where you just didn't win a single game, and then all of a sudden just smashing it out. Like, just good on him for kind of sticking it out, and he's certainly reaping the rewards now. And also, let's just give a round of applause to his body for being able to keep up a level that high for so long, to be playing at, let's just say, an international level of football for, I don't even know how long, mate. Let's just say 20 years. It's just completely ridiculous. Either way, the entire thing is certainly just a team sport, and so even though they do seem to be doing quite well for themselves, it's every little piece of the puzzle that just adds up and makes the team so much better. And yeah, if you get some just absolutely ridiculously good players, you can drag the whole team up because all of a sudden everyone's forced to play at a certain level. But at the same time, just one bad player that just isn't turning up as much and they're just getting more bench time, whatever it may be, just drags the team down. And so even though they are doing quite well, I'm sure if they just go versus Argentina or Spain or anything like that, I'm sure they won't be looking so high and mighty anymore. I mean, it's certainly just a different ranking and everything's just in perspective, but at the same time, I got to give credit to them for just turning their life around, and now it's just actually just try and hammer it home.
With his supposed retirement after the 2019 Gold Cup being swiftly forgotten about, as he was recalled to the 2022 qualifying setup, maybe it was the case that Atiba, age 38, is now finally, after 19 years of playing for Canada, at least a bit hopeful of the team he finds himself in.
Yeah, look at that. So what was that? He's 38 and you're still playing. Like I said, round of applause for his body. But like he said, he's just completely forgotten about his retirement. He went, you know what? Finally, I'm winning. Stuff that. I'm not retiring. I want to just have some of the glory days.
Is now finally, after 19 years of playing for Canada, at least a bit hopeful of the team he finds himself in. Yes. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar would be the perfect send-off for the evergreen Canadian captain, as he tastes his first major tournament right at the end of his international career. As Atiba moves on, the young players are really coming into their own. Alistair Johnston has been excellent in his own regard. Physical, determined and ambitious, he keeps the core of the squad sturdy and allows for the offensive players to express themselves. Tajon Buchanan has been an explosive player, complementing the play of others, scoring and creating chances at 22. He will be influential in the upcoming games in 2022.
Damn, only 22. I mean, he didn't mention the age of the other guy, but either way, all of these guys always kind of surprise me, unless you're this guy right here, about how young they are.
And of course, the main man has yet to be mentioned. Alphonso Davies has been a phenomenon since his record-shattering move to Bayern Munich. His performances in the Bundesliga and his influence on the Bayern Munich squad in their run to the 2020 Champions League was nothing but astonishing. He has garnished a real reputation among football fans around the world as an explosive, attack-minding left wing-back.
I didn't even see that. That was a weird perspective. I didn't see this. He's quick there, but did he volley that? No, okay, it hit the ground and then just went through. I didn't even know what I was watching because the ball kind of just traveled it straight away from the cameras. I didn't see it moving really. Almost to the point where it looks like it's about to head the ball right now. There's just no depth in this entire image. But no, I want to go back. What was it? 13 million is the highest fee paid for an MLS player. What does that mean? What did he say? It wasn't Bayern Munich.
His record-shattering move to Bayern Munich.
It was Bayern Munich, but that's not MLS, and so I don't know. MLS, no idea. And then he also went on to say something about Bundesliga. Yeah, 3 times winner. Okay, then, and then he even just got a photo with Messi helping him up, or hopefully he's not just kind of push him into the ground. I can already imagine he's helping him up. And really, this guy looks pretty darn young as well. Maybe 23, 24, no idea. But 13 million, pretty decent salary if you ask me. I mean, I guess it's no, what was it, like 750 million that was it Neymar got there or whatever it was, but still, 13 million, I'll take 13 million any day.
Davies is clearly the best player in the Canadian squad at only 21 years old. Not just that.
Like I said, he's just super young, and I kind of expected it, but you never really know. I was going, okay, maybe he might be a little bit older, but 21. Damn, boy.
Not just that, but he's the best player in all of CONCACAF. Playing his football at an elite level can only breed positives for his own and his country's progression. His position in the national team allows him to adopt a free roaming role, dragging opposition defenders from one side of the pitch to the other. His attacking power allows Canada to drive up the pitch, dragging opposition defenders from one side of the pitch to the other. His attacking power allows Canada to drive up the pitch, and his unrivaled pace allows him to recover well defensively. His career has already been world class, and he's only set to get better as the years roll on. There is no doubt that he will lead his country to a wealth of fortune in the coming years.
There we go.
The hope is there. Fans and players alike believe in their chances, and the national team continue to make their own luck in qualifiers.
The colours are so off in that entire clip. I mean, I know he's just talking about them just absolutely dominating the world stage, hopefully for their own sake, but really, what is going on with the orange? I mean, maybe they're actually orange, but really, I can only assume they're probably still holding on to their red. And really, look at all the crowd. Like, there would have been a time, especially for the current captain's entire period that he's been on the team, where you just would have been looking around going, there is no one in these stands. Oh, actually, there's one guy. Oh, no, that's for Mexico. And you'd be like, what the hell's going on? And then now, you're doing an entire chant and everyone's like, yes, let's go. Go score some goals. Go make the World Cup and go do us proud.
Fans and players alike believe in their chances, and the national team continue to make their own luck in qualifiers. With 6 games left, Canada are not just looking for qualification to the World Cup, they are going for spot number 1, nothing else. A crucial game at home to the US will certainly decide their fate, but 4 games away from home will also be challenging, no matter the opposition they face. With 3 automatic qualification spaces available, and a further playoff position up for grabs, Canada are in a favourable position that they are looking to maintain. With high expectations of 2022 within the next 12 months, it is also hard to ignore the fact that the 2026 World Cup will be hosted on Canadian soil.
Oh, really? Wow, that's incredible. Imagine the entire thing where all of a sudden the entire country kind of wakes up and goes, oh, wow, we've actually got a decent team in home or in a home field, on home turf, whatever you want to call it. And so the entire atmosphere would just be crazy. And honestly, you would kind of just be on this, I don't even know if you'd call it exponential ramp, going from virtually nothing to possibly winning. That'd be pretty exponential if you ask me.
A home World Cup following successful 2022. It is as an exciting time in Canadian soccer as it might ever be.
Well, then I guess that is going to be it. But no, that was just a really kind of heartwarming video to watch. Everyone was just, well, just going from absolutely nothing almost, and then just through one guy kind of sacking off the coach. And then even though the women's team did lose their coach, where was it? Canada's women's team lose coach 18 months from 2019's Women's World Cup. I mean, I'd like to know who they got replaced by and how they're going now, but either way, you got to give it to him for just kind of coming in, just changing the entire team around, as well as just the entire team's mindset and how they've gone about performing, and really just giving the entire country and themselves, I guess, but just a reason to be there. Like, actually, okay, we're not just turning out for no reason because we're just going to get smashed every single week or every single time we play. No, you literally get moments like this where you just get to go, yes, we won, we're actually top of the table all of a sudden, and you literally just kind of extended this guy's entire career by multiple years, it seems like. I don't know, maybe you're just going to go to the 2026. I mean, it's not going to be far, he doesn't have to fly supposedly, and so maybe he will be there, who knows. And so exactly as he says here,
it is as an exciting time in Canadian soccer as it might ever be.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, there's a whole bundle of people, like shown through those viewing numbers, that have obviously quite invested in the entire sport, but to hear that it is actually a decent thing that has turned around, I mean, maybe that's why I haven't heard anything about it, because the history isn't too good, but now all of a sudden, you know, they're doing well, and all of a sudden we hear about it. It's kind of incredible how that works, but overall, I just feel for these guys. I'm not even feel for them, that's the wrong word, because that feels like it's a negative thing. I just absolutely champion these guys in terms of, even though they're not my country, I just hope them all the best, because, well, everyone deserves to just have a good shot, and if you're putting in the effort and just performing where you need to be performing, then I guess everyone's got a shot at winning the entire title. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there, so thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, maybe don't check out just any of the other videos that I've done. I've done recommended videos and really just a massive range of videos. Also, make sure to check out the original video down in the description below and subscribe to this poor bugger with 441 years less than me. Or hey, I guess in saying that, maybe you even want to consider subscribing to me so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.